On you, on you, on you. I usually do it on my arm, on my chest, on my head, maybe even on my feet before I start my day. And then I diffuse it in the kitchen or wherever I'm going to be working the whole day, because that gets the emotion going throughout the day. And the thing that I love about wild orange is its emotion. It's what it does for the emotions. So essential oils go directly to the emotion center of the brain through your nose. Those nerves in there go directly to the brain, and they can literally change your mood immediately upon smelling them. That's the power of the essential oil. It can change the mood. So use your essential oils to literally fight your battles. Be the point that starts the battle going. So we're just going to talk a little bit about some of the things that wild orange does. Now in your handout, you've got a couple of physical things that they can be used for, like flavorings and cleaning and relieving upset stomach, reducing pain, and things like that, reducing stress. But I love wild orange so much because this wild orange was the beginning of my journey of abundance, of learning about what abundance is, what it means, and how to bring it into your life. So that's going to be pretty much the focus of our class today. Basically, abundance. So wild orange, the oil of abundance, it's called. It addresses a wide variety of emotional issues. It inspires abundance, fosters creativity, supports a positive mood, restores physical energy, and aids in transitions. It also reconnects with your inner child, brings spontaneity, fun, joy, and play into one's life. This is the perfect time of year for wild orange, to just sort of kickstart you and get you moving. At its core, wild orange teaches the true meaning of abundance. It encourages to let go of scarcity mindsets with all of their manifestations, including fear, nervousness, inflexibility, workaholism, lack of humor, and the belief that there's not enough. So those are the opposites of abundance. So just start thinking about that. Fear, nervousness, inflexibility, lack of humor, believing in not enough, that's not abundance. And we're going to talk about what is abundance in addition. So, wild orange reminds the soul of the limitless supply found in nature. Have you ever noticed a fruit tree? When a fruit tree is planted and it grows, and as long as it keeps getting watered, the fruit tree will continually bear fruit and bear fruit every year. It is literally the meaning of abundance, that once you've planted that seed, one little seed, and it will just grow fruit endlessly, practically endlessly. Hence the scriptural idea of the tree of life, which is eternal abundance. And so we have trees that teach us that principle of eternal abundance. In nature, there is always enough to go around. Nature is a cycle, and there's always enough. It's only the human being that has decided that somehow there's a not enoughness somewhere, and it's not true. Wild orange encourages individuals to let go of their need to hoard, which is the epitome of scarcity and the opposite of abundance. Wild orange also assists the individual's natural creative sense. It inspires limitless solutions for problems and issues. Ever need that? One never needs to fear. Wild orange invites the individual to completely let go as a child does, and to live from their authentic self. In our authenticity, we are abundance. So being authentic is part of the definition of abundance. Never thought of that. Sharing, playing, relaxing, enjoying the bounties of life, these are all the gifts bestowed by wild orange, and is truly the meaning of abundance. So I was listening to a program this week, and one of the things he said was, there is no freedom as long as there is need. Now, as human beings, like I said, we always think that there's a need, the next need. We have to do this, we have to do that, we have to do the other. The truth is, no one has to do anything. No one actually needs anything. We are eternal beings who have come from God, and we have been given an opportunity, but it's never a need. You don't need to earn money to survive. That's something that people have put on us from the beginning of time because of that belief and that fear that there would be not enough. But in God's universe, and we are from God, there is always enough. There is nothing but abundance. God cannot comprehend lack of abundance because he is abundance. He is ever increasing prosperity and hope and abundance. So if you've ever listened in a Sunday school class, how many worlds has God created?
Worlds without number.
Oh, without number. So does God ever get to the place where he says, okay, well, I'm done. I'm not going to do any more. I don't need any more. I don't want any more. There's not more out there. I mean, does he ever say, do we ever look at him and go, man, he's so wealthy, he should just stop?
Never thought of it.
No, and sometimes in this world, people criticize wealthy people because they have so much. God has everything. And not only that, he has given it to his children. Not only that, he gave us the ability to create endlessly. So to try and wrap your brain, your immortal mind, soul, around the concept that there's not enough is like the ultimate affront to God.
Exactly, I was gonna say an insult.
It's an insult, yes, because he is everything abundant. He can't possibly lack anything. So when we say, I need this, I don't have this, he's like, yes you do, because I gave it to you. So many times people come and they're like, oh, well, I don't know if I can ask God for that because I don't know if he'll give it to me because I think I already have enough, or maybe he thinks I shouldn't have it, or maybe that's not the right thing to ask for. I hear that, and it's like they're all bound up in their fear that God's not going to give something to them. When the truth is, God has already given all things to his children, including the power to create all things. Now, he did say that if you desire something that's not good for you, it's going to hurt you. Just like you would say to your child, say, oh, you want that race car and you're 5 years old? It might not be the best thing for you right now. It might not. But he, different from us, does not ever stop us. We stop ourselves all the time. We're like, well, God wouldn't want, God doesn't this, God doesn't that. And it's like, oh, no. God never stops us. His whole thing was that he promised he was going to send us down here and allow us to make all kinds of choices. And don't you see that? Don't you see people making all kinds of choices? Or not? In other words, nobody needs to do anything. Nobody needs anything. You are an eternal being and you cannot die. You don't need to make money to survive. That's the horrible lie that the serpent
work together, right?
The serpent told Eve in the garden, was that something was wrong here. And so they bought into that and started to believe that, and that from then on they would have to, things would have to be hard. But the Savior redeems us from the fall and says, okay, we are now in a place of all things granted, all things given. Isn't that Jesus' promise to us? He says, whatever you ask, what? You shall be given. Now, does that sound like somebody who's stingy? Somebody who's standing there going, I don't know if I'll give that to you today. No, God is not a Scrooge. So now that's one principle that I studied out found inside myself and said, "Poof, chucking that out. I don't believe in scarcity anymore. I don't believe in need." And I repented of it. I said, I'm not going to need things anymore. I may desire them, and that's different. You're like, I would really like that. And then plant that seed, and then with patience, wait for it to come, because you know that whatever you desire is going to come.
What you put out there, you attract.
That's right. Some people call that the law of attraction. But that's faith. That's believing that promise, and then, like a child, like, there it is. It's coming. I can feel it, you know?
Giving yourself permission to go where we
Giving yourself permission,
truly
yes.
desire to ride.
That's one principle. There are literally hundreds of principles about abundance, about wealth, and about prosperity, and those three things are different. We're talking today about abundance. We've talked before about prosperity, and we'll probably talk about wealth. But today in abundance, it's about recognizing that every good thing is already in you, given to you, and the power to create it is with you. Now, you may have to cultivate that and exercise it, just like playing the piano. If you've learned that that little image on the page equals that note on the keyboard, you know how to play the piano. But knowing how to play the piano and being able to play a gorgeous masterpiece might have a little difference of maybe some practice time. But there's nothing more than just practice time. Now you understand the principle. So it's the same with abundance. You understand the principle of abundance, that it's about knowing the truth about God and then practicing it in your life until you get good at it. So if today maybe you're not as good at it as you would like, is that a reason to stop practicing? A lot of people use it as a reason, and then they take the stick of need and lack and pain and misery and they beat themselves with it for the rest of their life, instead of putting the stick down and saying, I'm not going to beat myself with lack and need and fear. I'm going to put that down, and I'm going to walk free in abundance. Now, he said there is no freedom as long as there is need. So if you eliminate need in your conversation, in your feelings, in your heart, and you repent of it, and you ask God to forgive you of feeling like there was a lack, then as the atonement works in your life, the atonement of Jesus, then he eliminates that feeling from you. And as you practice that, then you step out into freedom. Freedom is this feeling like you don't need anything. It's all desire driven and hope driven and curiosity driven, which is so different than need and fear and lack.
We don't need to need things in order to qualify for God's love and all
Right.
that he so lovingly desires to give us.
Perfect. Okay, so now on the back, I'm going to let you have that. There's plenty. On the back here are the affirmations. Now, these are some abundance affirmations, but there's also, when I looked,
Abundance. There's one for you.
yes, there is
Yeah,
plenty.
You have one for me too, don't you?
Yes.
I'm in line.
So, when I looked up affirmations for abundance, there was an abundance of them. Hundreds, thousands of affirmation abundance for abundance. And that's a beautiful symbol of how God works. If you want abundance, there is an abundance of help for you out there. I looked online, and I was desperate when I started my search. And I started every single day. I would look up 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 videos that just talked about abundance. And there's a ton of them out there, an abundance of them. And every day I would write down some new thing that they talked about that changed my ideas about money, about wealth, about abundance, about God. And before I knew it, I had a whole folder full of new things that I had written about my life that were abundant. And at the end of the day, I would spend some time reading through those things. And oh my gosh, after the first few days, I noticed that I just felt better. But then, within the next few months, my life just gradually started to shift from this constant neediness and fear and lack, which was what was manifesting in my life, to suddenly things were just coming out of the woodwork and being like, oh man, where am I going to put that? That's a lot. Woo! And things, just different things. It started with random things, and then it started to be very specific based on my desires. One day I was walking down the driveway, and I'm like, this is a perfect day. This is so perfect. I love this day. And I was just giving thanks for the beautiful day that it was, and the joy I was feeling, and the happiness in my family. And I'm walking down the driveway, and I said to myself, just to myself in my little head, I said, there's only one thing that would make this day even better. And I imagined a horse coming down the driveway. It was the silliest thing. Just one thing would make this better. A horse. That's just me, okay? But God heard that, because that night, that's what happened.
You got a horse?
And I'm like, Heavenly Father, were you listening to that? And
That's what we want
that's
before we ask.
That's right. He gives it even before we ask. And that's how God is. He's this joyous, giving, loving Father who, when you say, oh, this thing, and you love it, then He loves to give it to you, because He is love. So if you're coming at Him with doubt and fear and unbelief, what can He give you? He can give you what you doubt, fear, and unbelief.
You're not ready to receive it if you believe that.
You can't well, you'll receive exactly what you're
If you-
believing in.
If you believe that it's
He will
not
give it
for
to you. That's right. If you fear something,
He gives you exactly what you want, even
Yes.
if it's going to hurt you.
whatever you put your strong emotion in, that's what will come to you. So just think of it in terms of that, which is why the essential oil and the stones are so powerful, because they help us to feel a different emotion, which is why I love some of the cheerful essential oils like lime and lemon and orange. You put those on and you just can't help but smile.
It's pretty colors.
And when you smile, suddenly you feel better, and automatically, without even trying, you are bringing good things to you. If you feel good, you're bringing good things. If you're feeling lousy, well, more of that is coming. So, it's a battle right there on the front line of how you feel, trying to make it as simple as possible. Okay, so with that, we're going to go on to our stone, because life just gets better. So this is a new stone that I got this week, and it's so
Very
beautiful.
And it's for me.
Yes.
Birthday coming up?
Yes, I was thinking of you. So this is a clear
I should stop talking.
quartz. You're fine. A clear quartz crystal. And I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's got 6 sides. And quartz, I think, are amazing because they grow. They grow this way. It's so weird that a rock or a stone could grow, and they grow in this shape. Nobody cuts it like this. It just grows like that, which is phenomenal. God is amazing. So yes, this is a clear quartz crystal.
Where did you get it? Where did you get it?
I use the Crystal and Light store. It's just exactly 2 blocks down from the library in Twin Falls. So if you're at the side of the library, you just go 2 blocks and it's right there.
Is it by
Desired
the-
it and found it.
By your
Wow.
Real quick, is it by the beauty school
Yep.
that I went to?
Yep.
Do you know, Main Street and in the parking lot?
Yeah.
Is that's
So
the one I go
it's
to then?
right
You know, like you go to the
across-
parking lot and you,
Like the
like, you're gonna go
Crossroads?
out on the street.
Sorry, I think that's the one I go
Yeah.
to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
They always give a free
Crystal
lunch
and
to
Light.
kids.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, sorry. I was
No,
just
you're
trying to-
fine, you're fine. Clear quartz. is a colorless quartz, natural form of silicon dioxide. It's the 10th anniversary gemstone. It's known as the Master Healer.
What does that mean?
It will what does what mean? 10th anniversary?
10th anniversary,
Oh.
it's your quartz anniversary.
Oh.
Right, what is it?
It's,
Oh, I
it's
forget.
a gemstone for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
quar-
yeah,
for
I
the
forget.
10th anniversary.
Uh-huh. Like
Okay,
pearls and.
so-
Yeah.
Clear quartz is known as the Master Healer and will amplify energy and thought as well as the effect of other crystals. So if you have one crystal that does one thing and you add the clear quartz crystal to it, it will amplify it. But it will
Synergistic.
also, yeah, it's synergistic. It will add to your emotion. So if you're feeling abundant and you add that crystal to it, it just magnifies that. So if you take that, you take the essential oil, you take the crystal, and then you take the affirmations, and you say them out loud with emotion, you're literally jump-starting your life. I've tried this, I've done it, and it works. It works powerfully and beautifully. So trust in this process. I'm giving you something to trust in because it works. It has worked for me. A year ago, I was in dire straits and in a terrible position financially, and now our life, our financial life, everything is completely and totally reversed. Just, it's like, I want to say magic, but it's faith. So anyway,
That's beautiful.
clear crystal. Clear quartz draws off negative energy. It absorbs, stores, releases, and regulates energy. It neutralizes background radiation, including electromagnetic smog or petrochemical emanations. It balances and revitalizes the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual planes, cleanses and enhances the organs and subtle bodies, and acts as a deep soul cleanser. Also helps to connect the physical and emotional. Stimulates the immune system and brings the body into balance. So that's a pretty powerful and important little stone there. And I'm glad to have one now.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'll share it.
Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna open up our heart. So just
Okay.
pull the shoulders back. Just taking a deep breath. Place your hand on your heart area. And just be still for a moment. Being still is very important for this process. Close your eyes and think of something that you can feel grateful for. Feel gratitude, feel appreciation. Appreciation is a great word. I can appreciate something. Feel that in your heart. What can you appreciate? It's important that you allow yourself to feel it. So today, I'm feeling a great and powerful appreciation for my mothers. My mothers. And there have been many mothers in my life. And mothers are a powerful representation of God in our lives. Because they give us so much, they help us so much, they're there for us so much, like God. But sometimes the pain of mothers can also be great. And so with the crystal and the wild orange, I invite us all to release the negativity surrounding mothers in our life. Because that negativity can be a source of pain and blockage of our abundance. It's mothers who often tell us, you can't have that, you can't do that, I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to do that, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And those words can be the things that come from our past that stop us from feeling abundance. So, I would like to take that feeling, if you got that feeling, and just speak some of these affirmations. And speak them with me here. I will put these affirmations on the description, in the description of this video, so that you can click on it and find it. But they are under wildrosemusic.com, under Neshama. These are affirmations for abundance. Let's start with number 1. I can and will have more than I ever dreamed possible. I feel good about money and deserve it in my life. Great wealth is flowing to me now. I now create my wonderful, ideal life. I am thankful for the comfort and joy that money provides me. I know I am abundant. Okay, so that's the beginning of those affirmations. And even as you say them, your face wants to smile and your heart wants to open up. But I challenge you to take this to the next level, so that when you read this, you bring tears to your eyes and you feel it. Because when you do that, you know that your heart and your mind are now connected, and that has the power to release things in the subconscious that are not true and to change your subconscious mind. You have to reach the emotion. You have to reach the heart in order to change the subconscious. Yes.
In my book it says a grateful heart is a happy heart.
Yes, it's true. Now, it's very important that we recognize that what we're doing is changing what the program has been for us. Because you know that when you work as hard as you can possibly work and you still feel poor, there's something that's knocking you back, and it's not just your choices. And what they now know it is very often subconscious things that you've either inherited or have been planted in your life. And they reside deep in the subconscious mind, but the way to reach them and change them is through what I just showed you now. If you harmonize the heart and the brain through the stilling of the heart and the thinking of appreciation and feeling it, touching your heart here, that when you feel it, that's harmonizing the heart and brain, and in that moment you are able to plant new things in the subconscious that will change beliefs that have been there forever, since the beginning of time. And that's powerful. That's very powerful. And I know this is true because that's exactly how I felt. A year ago when I started that, I just thought, this isn't fair. I can't do anything. I can't move forward. There's something is stopping me. And this is what I found. And it changed. It changed my life. I felt it change, and then my life changed around me. So it's just very important that you get that harmonization and that you feel it. And when you feel it here, and you'll start to recognize when you're feeling it, at first it'll bring tears to your eyes and you'll feel the warmth here. It's the spirit. And the spirit, the heart has a brain. And when you touch the brain heart through your emotion, then that speaks to the subconscious mind. Now, this is all scientific. You can find it on my Facebook page of the ABCs of Health, Wealth, and Happiness. There are several videos that talk about this, and it's the science behind it. But right now I'm just talking about the end result and how you achieve this. So we just did a little exercise of this today. But I do this every day. Every day I put something in there. Every day I open my heart and mind, and every day I am doing that exercise, because not only does it enable you to reach the subconscious mind, but they've calculated something like 1,300 chemical reactions happen in the body that are anti-aging, immune boosting, and health producing in your body. 1,300 reactions that happen when all you do is touch the heart and brain together. So now I have to point you to a sacrament meeting, because that's what God does. He says, in a sacrament meeting, I'm going to play beautiful music. And then you're going to think of me. And then you're going to think of me with gratitude because I've given my life for you. And then you're going to come to me with your open heart and your desires. And we're going to come together in this moment. And I'm going to be in you, and you're going to be in me. And we are going to be one in that moment and create your new life. He says, repent of your old things. In other words, turn to me. And I will give you new things for old. That's what the atonement is about, the atonement of Jesus. And that's why we go to a sacrament meeting, because in that moment we have the opportunity to harmonize the heart and the brain, where we think about the Savior and we feel his love. And that's why he sets it up the way that he does, because music is a powerful inducer of this emotion. So God knew what he was doing. And I testify to that. That's why he gives us a sacrament meeting, and why it's such a crime when they try to take it away from us. So.
I will just say it was awesome to sing at sacrament meeting on Sunday. It was awesome.
Yes. Okay, so our next segment, and some of you have seen this before, but I have not done a video on this, and so I wanted to do this today. This is things you can do every day when you are on the front line of your life, which is every day. The front line of just trying to be happy. But this will make it so you don't have to try so hard. So these are things you can do every day before life happens in the day, before even you get out of bed, before anything happens at all. These are things that you can do. So, I love this page, and I found these illustrations, and this one up in the left-hand corner is my very, very, very favorite.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to show you this wonderful little picture here. You see that baby there? That smile is contagious. It's just contagious. You look at that. So if you wake up in the morning and you do nothing else, do that. Pull out that picture, look at it, and smile at it. Go, "Eeh." Even if you don't feel it yet, make your face do it. Because just moving your face releases the chemicals that will then start the body feeling better. So it's like a tool. It's like having a wrench in your toolbox. If you were going to try to fix a car's alternator without a wrench, how easy would it be? Twisting those bolts with your fingers. Is that going to happen?
Nope.
Nope. No. And that's just like trying to do your day without the tools of the truth, which is why God gives us the tools of truth. These are the tools that get our day going. They're the wrenches, if you will. And this smile is a powerful wrench for me. Every time I wake up and I see that mirror, I look at the mirror and I make myself smile at it, even if it hurts.
We're still here.
Now, just talking about a smile made everybody laugh. And laughter is the next step beyond smiling. So if you can make yourself laugh, lift your arms up and go, ah! Ah! That it not only wakes you up, but it heals. Laughter is healing. It's powerfully healing. Now, on the Neshama website, and I'm going to put the link, I have this list on the page, but I also have the whole list printed out with some of the benefits of these things. So you can get that in the handouts in the link. And some
Sorry,
of you
I didn't
already
do
have
that
this,
all.
this big list, but you can go and get the link on my website, and you can print it out, or just read it there. Okay, the next one. First thing I do in the shower, I am bouncing, I am bouncing. You can bounce in the shower, and it's fun. La! Bounce and sing, or hum.
Have a good match.
Yes, and did you know that humming will awaken that inside gland in there that is your second sight, that will allow you to see things in the future, or just see things for your life, or God to communicate with you. It helps you to communicate with God when you sing or hum, which is why the adversary has tried to stop us from singing, because he knows that it connects us with God, and he's trying to stop that connection right now because he knows that God is coming, right? So, sing, bounce, smile, and we've done that before ever we've even seen anybody in the day. We've just, even being in bed, you can smile, and you can laugh, and you can bounce. Ever tried bouncing in your bed? Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
to get out is a big help.
Also, before you get up, you can shake. That's a form of bouncing. You can just lift your limbs up and shake. That's
Playing
a
the
really
piano.
good.
Playing the
Yes,
piano.
playing the piano.
I love
You
when my
can
kids
you
play
can
the
do
piano.
that in your bed. You can shake, and that's a really good lymph system jump starter.
Oh, you mean on purpose?
On purpose, yes. Okay. Now, once you're out of the shower, open your curtains and
No.
get in the sun. Get in the sunlight and feel it. Let it get on your skin. Even if it's snowing outside, walk outside and smile at the sun.
Constant.
Did you know that sunlight heals your teeth? It does. So whenever I go for a walk, I smile at the sun. when we see people running, Steve is always saying to me, they don't look very happy. So whenever I go out and take a walk or a run, I try to smile. So I'm like, I'm happy.
It's because you can't breathe, that's why.
Right. But if you take a walk, that I read an article, and I think I even put it on my Facebook page, but it said that if you walk even twice a week for maybe a block, that will stimulate your health to such a point that you almost don't need any other movement. If you just spend a couple of minutes, a couple of times a week walking, deliberately walking, and you don't have to walk fast, just enough that you can still carry on a conversation. And they said it's very, very powerful, and I believe I posted that also. But if not, I'll go back and check, and I'll post it on there so you can see it. That was a great little article. Okay, the next one, heart harmonize. That's what we just did. So before you ever do anything, make sure you can feel your heart, and so you touch it, you still yourself, and you harmonize that, and you feel it. So the way that I jumpstart that for myself is I play some music. And then I think of the thing that I'm, just little things. And if you have to, start being thankful for every little thing. Like, I am so thankful for that color. I'm thankful for this bag. I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for that. Thank you for that pink shoe. Just, and then work your way up to things that are really, really important to you. Like, I'm thankful for the covenants I've made with God. I'm thankful for his love for me. I'm thankful for the many times he's delivered me from my doubt and my fear. I'm thankful for the children in my life. I'm thankful for smiles. I'm thankful for the love of other people. I'm thankful for my friends. I'm thankful for the love of my husband. I'm thankful for this warm bed, this warm home, this warm shower, that's warm sunshine. And as you work your way through things that you feel gratitude for, allow yourself to feel it until you really just bring tears to your eyes and a warm feeling in your heart. Because that's the moment when then you can do the next thing, and you can pull out your affirmations and you say a few. And if abundance is the thing you're working on right now, you pull out your affirmation of abundance and you say, from now on, wealth is my best friend, and it's everywhere. And when you say it with that emotion, that it's like shooting a laser beam out into your life and changing it, because it changes your subconscious agreements, and that's power.
What's cold stimulus?
Cold
Did I
stimulus,
miss that?
maybe. Cold stimulus. You see this little picture of the girl washing her face? She's washing her face in cold water. So cold stimulus is
That's
where
how
you
you wake
find
up.
something that makes you cold
That's fine.
that you can experience for
Missed it.
a short time. So the way I do it is, if I'm in the shower, I make it nice and warm. Ooh. And then when I'm really done being so warm, then I turn it cold. Mostly cold, not like super duper cold, but mostly cold.
She hates
And
cold.
then I turn around. I do it on my back first, because the back seems easier. But if you let yourself have a cold stimulus, and when you print this out, the whole thing, cold stimulus is powerful in healing. It has an alkalizing effect. Okay, it decreases inflammation, it decreases muscle spasms, it relieves pain, it increases metabolism, it increases heart rate, and it increases dopamine levels. Cold, yes.
Can I say something?
Yes.
So I was just at the doctor today, and he said that if I didn't want to take medicine anymore, to take at least a 2-minute cold shower every day.
Is that not good?
Well, there you go.
He said then I wouldn't need like any, well, I shouldn't recommend that for everybody, but for me, because of the medicine that I don't like to take, he said that it would release the dopamine that I'm missing. Anyways, I don't like it. I just think that's.
But that's one thing, and all of these other things
That's
do the
funny.
same thing. So, yeah. So cold stimulus, also going outside in cold.
Like
Yeah.
you talk to him.
Taking your sleeves off, even if it's just a few seconds. One of the things that I do, I'm working in my kitchen, I need to take my garbage out. Sometimes I'm like, not wearing a coat. I'm just gonna go barefoot and no coat, and I'm gonna run to the trash and run right back, because it gets you going. And you come back in, you're just like more alive. And we all need more alive. Okay, so that's cold stimulus. And there are lots of ways to do that, whether it's just washing your hands in cold water, or splashing a little, or just doing, dipping it in cold water and going like that. Even that is a cold stimulus. But like I said, if you're struggling with a cold shower, do it nice and warm and then turn it cold, but do it on your back. The back it takes it easier.
That
And you
won't
can
shock
start
your
with your
heart.
back and slowly work your way to the front.
Just good timing is all.
Okay, grounding. So, can you see my shoes?
You see mine?
Ballet.
These are ballet shoes. Now, I'm a person who is on her feet all day, all day. Before I got married, I was a cook and a waitress and a dishwasher, and you are just on your feet. Sometimes I held down 2 jobs, and it was constantly on my feet, and I always had sore feet. But this past year, I decided to just get playful, and I read about grounding, and I decided to get some ballet shoes because they have leather soles, and it gets you more connected with the earth occasionally. And oh my gosh, I had no idea how comfortable these things would be. It's practically barefooted, but I don't have to walk through my dirty kitchen floor with bare feet. And so that's been good, to be able to feel like I'm barefoot and
But not be.
And these are so comfortable. My feet are not tired at the end of the day, which is super surprising to me. I thought they would be, but they're not. I love them.
That's wonderful.
So grounding. There is a movie about grounding, and I think it's just called The Grounding Movie, which is really clever.
Okay, one more comment if I can.
You can. While I find this.
So my friend went to her, she was going to her, I can't remember what kind of doctor it was. Anyways, and she said that if you every day go out and plant your feet and put your hands up and just she said, like, literally, like, the gravity will pull the negativity
It does.
out of you.
That's exactly it. It allows your body to release free radicals.
Yeah, like, that's what gravity is for. God created gravity so that
Well,
it can
and
just pull the
it's
negativity
like
down,
the
out.
well,
I
and
don't know.
that's how our stones work. The stones they're like, well, they have this energetic thing, and it's about electrons and neutrons and protons and where they are and the free radicals and so yeah, they're not exactly sure entirely how it all works.
Right.
But yes, connecting with stones, which is why we do stones, and connecting with the ground.
Yeah.
Gardening is a really powerful way to do that.
That's all I can think of 5 minutes ago.
Find a
Just
way
started.
to do gardening that works for you.
But if you're not a gardening person, she said, just find it, like, get close to a tree.
That's right.
I don't know why.
Touch a tree because they're grounded.
And then be barefoot and
Uh-huh.
just let whatever's bothering you or whatever just like come
I have
down.
literally done that. There was one day when I was feeling, before I had cleared so much in my life, I just would go to a tree, and this one day I went to this it was a fairly small tree in my yard, and I went out there and I touched it, and it was just, I felt just like this rush of things going out of me. I'm like, whoa, that was almost creepy, but
Yeah.
but it's just the free radicals that your body doesn't need, aren't helping
Like-
you, but they have to go somewhere, and they can't pass through plastic-soled shoes
Right.
because it's not a conductor.
They have to be barefoot.
Right, so God wants us to go barefoot occasionally and climb trees and get in the dirt and dig and whatever. So find a way to connect with the earth, to connect with trees. Have a tree that you always go to, because trees are alive and they can resonate with you. Rocks, trees, birds, animals. Animals are very grounding, which is why I believe that people have pets, and sometimes people have many pets, and it's because they're in need of something in their life, need of grounding. So,
Huh.
animals.
Anyways, I just saw grounding. I don't mean to keep interrupting, but
No.
that's what that reminded me of is when her, like, these are actual doctors that have, like, researched this.
Yes.
And so anyways, one day we went out, we did yoga, and we just stood on the ground, and, like, she said, now just picture everything negative just going into the ground, and let the gravity pull it down. And I was like,
Okay, so how many times in the day are you going through stuff and you think, I need to go out in the ground?
yeah.
Well, maybe it's time to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to say, oh man, I'm feeling something that's not the best. So what do? Splash a little cold water, drop a little oil, bounce a little bit, get out in the sun, step on the earth, ground, do 4 or 5 of these in a row, and see if it doesn't make a difference in your day if you're going through crap. Because we all go through stuff, right? Okay, dance. We've talked about dance. All you have to do is put on a piece of music and start moving. That's dance. But we belong to a square dance club, and it is awesome. When you have to go every week because they're having it and they're expecting you, that's a good motivator to get there and do it. And I love having that, because we all need excuses. We need reasons, because the natural man is like always trying to die. It's always like, I don't, it's like that battery that just doesn't keep going. You're like, that needs a new battery. The car just won't start. That's the natural man. The battery is dying. The alternator is corroded. The cables on the battery are all full of corrosion, and the gas tank's full of dirt, and the oil is full of radiator fluid, and it's a mess. That's the natural man. And so the soul of us, which is what we're talking about here, has to step in and say, okay, natural man, let's do a few things that are going to help you to get to a better place. So think of your day more in terms of that, of how you can help your body to get through what it's going through. Okay, so dance. Do a little dance. Make that happen. Bouncing, dancing, make it happen. Massage, okay? I always think of massage as somebody lays down and I rub their back.
That's what I want.
But you can sit down, take a little essential oil and rub it on your feet and massage them. If you just massage your feet, you've massaged all of the organs in your body and all of the parts of you. And that's a very important thing that you can do for yourself. You can also massage up your legs this way because that helps the lymph system, even if you can't bounce. Let's say you're down in bed for the day. You can do this. You can move the lymph system with your hands or this. You know, how many women have this going on? So this pulls it through. It's about getting the lymph system moving because it has no pump. You are the pump, so you have to make an effort. So the body wants to be touched. People love to be touched. So spend time moving your own body and help somebody else. Whenever my husband and I kneel down for prayers, before we get up, I will just reach over and just rub the negativity out of his back from the day. And as soon as I touch his back, he's like, oh, ooh, you know, it feels so good. And I just know that as a wife, that's an important function that I can do for him to just sort of remove that negativity from the day. And I just use that moment to do that because, you know, we don't always take the time to say, okay, it's time for a back rub, we're going to take an hour, you know.
Right.
But if we've just had a prayer and we're already on our knees and I'm getting up before he is, then I'm like, well, let's just do a little rub down here, you know, and a little pat down. Because that wakes you up, that gets you moving, and it's going to help him sleep better. Okay, and wow, we're almost there. Hugging and touching. It's like massaging, hug and touch. Just spend time, make excuses. Say, I'm gonna hug 10 people in the next hour and find them and hug them. You know, set goals for yourself. Touch people. When you talk to them, reach out, touch them. Make a point, because touching heals.
Energy.
Yes. If a woman could just touch the hem of Jesus' garment and be healed, we have that power. We just don't cultivate it. I read a story about a man who went to visit his friend, and his friend was struggling and had this horrible thing that was going on in his life. And he just went to his friend and he put his hands on his heart and on his back. He just held his hands like this on his friend for about a minute. And he said all of a sudden he just felt his friend just relax. And then he was okay. He didn't say anything, he didn't do anything, he just held his hands there. The hands have power. If your children are struggling, if you're struggling, use your hands.
It might matter.
Positive, negative, positive, negative.
Jesus, what did he do? He took his hands and he touched people's eyes. He touched their limbs. He raised them from the dead, literally, with his hands. Use your hands. Cultivate that. Hugging and touching. And then your inspired list. When you wake up in the morning, before you get out of that room, make sure you know what God is looking for you to do and what your soul wants to do. So sometimes people say, oh, God wants me to do this, I have to do that. Remember, there's no need. God doesn't need you to do anything. It's all desire-driven. So let your life be desire-driven. So let your inspired list be your inspired desires. In other words, the desires that grow out of this heart-mind connection that you've already had. You know, when you feel all this gratitude, that's going to lead to a list of things that you want to do that day. And if you want to do it, that's abundance. That's joy. And that's where your peace and joy and happiness are going to come from, is from that inspired list. Affirming truth, we've already talked about that. You're going to say your affirmations. And then you're going to open and close every part of you. Now, if you're dancing and bouncing, that's a start. But there on the side, there's all those positions. Those are simple positions. Some of them are really hard, but some are really simple that you can do to help you to open and close your body. So your body is like doors. there are joints and places that all have to open and close. There's eyes, nose, mouth, ears, neck, shoulders, everything has to open and close. But sometimes we get in a rut and we end up, you know, being closed and closed and more and more and more and more closed until we can't open anymore. But that's just because of lack of use. It's the same with every part of us. So spend time opening up and closing every part of you to make sure they're still working. So it just like a door, you don't want it to just be like, well, we can only open it that far because it's clogged. Clean it out and open it. Open it all the way. Open and close your body. So when I started this, if you look on those little positions there, when I started, I had 4 positions, and I found them in a doctor's office one day. And I had just had, I don't know, probably my 5th or 6th child. And recovering from that, I couldn't exercise, but I could do those positions. So I did a position and held it for 30 seconds. I did 4 of those every day. And that was the best recovery I'd ever had. At the end of doing that, I did that for like once a day for a week. And I'm like, wow, I have all this energy. And I haven't even exercised. I haven't done anything different except I did positions. So just holding a forward bend, just doing this warrior pose, just being on your hands and knees and arching the back, just, you know, any one of those, or look up some of your own, just doing any position and holding it. Holding something open or closed helps the body to function better. So that was a lot. And I wanted to get into clearing and more clearing instructions, but I printed these out so that you guys can take them home, because that explains it. But next time, I think we'll probably walk through how to clear things from your life. But we've given you a good foundation for what we can do to prepare for clearing. So next week, we will just do some serious clearing. So I'm going to close with this wealth affirmation. I accept all the abundance that God's infinite love has for me. I love the word infinite. God's infinite love is infinite abundance for me. He holds nothing back. So abundance means allowing the flow in your life. Abundance is moving. It's never stationary. So I love you. I appreciate you. And
We
I'm
love you.
grateful to be here. And I'm going to leave you with this scripture that says in Psalm 17:8, keep me as the apple of the eye, hide me under the shadow of thy wings. God's wings. That's where I want to be. Thank you. Have a great day.